Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidil Anbiya'i wal Mursaleen. Sayyidina wa Mawlana Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in, amma ba'd. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. I seek refuge in Allah from shaitan, the wretched one. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of Allah, the compassionate, the most merciful. Laysa alaykum junahun an tabtaghu fadlan min rabbikum. There is no harm upon you that you seek grace from your Lord. فَإِذَا أَفَضْتُم مِّنْ عَرَفَاتٍ فَاذْكُرُوا اللَّهَ عِنْدَ الْمَشْعَرِ الْحَرَامِ. Surah Baqarah, ayat number 198 पढ़ते हैं. ये Al-Hajj wa Ashhurul Ma'lumat wala nawaruhu. Therefore, when you return from Arafat, then remember Allah near Mash'arul Haram, meaning in Muzdalifah. وَاذْكُرُوهُ كَمَا هَدَاكُمْ, and engage yourself in His dhikr as He has guided you. وَإِن كُنْتُم مِّن قَبْلِهِ لَمِنَ الضَّالِّينَ, and surely before this you were from among those who were misguided, misled. ثُمَّ أَفِيضُوا مِنْ حَيْثُ أَفَاضَ النَّاسِ, then return for tawaf from the same place from where the people return. وَاسْتَغْفِرُوا اللَّهِ, and seek forgiveness from Allah. إِنَّ اللَّهَ غَفُورٌ رَحِيمٌ, surely Allah is most forgiving, most merciful. فَإِذَا قَضَيْتُم مَّنَاسِكَكُمْ, then when you complete your rituals of Hajj, فَاذْكُرُوا اللَّهَ كَذِكْرِكُمْ آبَاءَكُمْ أَوْ أَشَدَّ ذِكْرًا, then engage yourselves in remembering Allah as you used to remember your forefathers, or much more severe in remembrance, or maybe क्या तर्जुमा करेंगे अशद्द ज़िक्र कसरत से, हाँ, in abundance के से कॉल लफ्ज में ढूंढ रहा हूँ जरा बिल्कुल with fervor and क्या कहते हैं eagerness, शिद्दत के साथ, कसरत और शिद्दत के साथ, abundance and strict तो तर्जुमा नहीं करेंगे, more strong in remembrance, vigorously, more vigorously. فَمِنَّ النَّاسِ مَن يَقُولُ, then people are of two types. There are some among people who say رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا, O Allah, give us everything in this dunya, in this world. وَمَا لَهُ فِي الْآخِرَةِ مِنْ خَلَاقٍ, and for such people there is no share in the hereafter. وَمِنْهُمْ مَن يَقُولُ, and among them are those who say رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةً وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ حَسَنَةً وَقِنَا عَذَابَ النَّارِ. O Allah, O our Lord, give us good in this dunya and good in the hereafter, and save us from the fire of from the punishment of the fire. أُولَٰئِكَ لَهُمْ نَصِيبٌ مِّمَّا كَسَبُوا, they are such for whom is a share and portion of what they have earned. وَاللَّهُ سَرِيعُ الْحِسَابِ, and Allah is swift in reckoning. وَاذْكُرُوا اللَّهَ فِي أَيَّامٍ مَّعْدُودَاتٍ, and remember Allah in days which are numbered. فَمَنْ تَعَجَّلَ فِي يَوْمَيْنِ فَلَا إِثْمَ عَلَيْهِ, so whosoever returns quickly in 2 days, there is no harm upon him. وَمَنْ تَأَخَّرَ, and whosoever delays for another day, فَلَا إِثْمَ عَلَيْهِ, there is no sin or harm upon him. لِمَنِ اتَّقَى, this is for that person who has taqwa and fear of Allah. وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهِ, and always fear Allah. وَاعْلَمُوا أَنَّكُمْ إِلَيْهِ تُحْشَرُونَ, and know that it is to Him where you will be returning and you will be gathered to Him. We are going through the manasik and arkan of Hajj. I started today's lesson from this ayat because فَإِذَا أَفَضْتُم مِّنْ عَرَفَاتٍ فَاذْكُرُوا اللَّهَ عِنْدَ الْمَشْعَرِ الْحَرَامِ. This is where we reached in the last lesson, that we have reached Arafat and we have spent the day of Arafat, Alhamdulillah, with zikr, with fikr, with tilawat kalam pak, with excessive du'as. We have recited Surah Kahf, Surah Yasin, lots of Quran, recited Hizbul Azam, made lots and lots and lots of du'as. And after sunset we have returned to Muzdalifah, we have prayed our Maghrib Isha, picked up the pebbles, stones, and we have spent the tahajjud time, and also after Fajr we have done the wuquf, and now we have left for Muzdalifah, and here we stop and we completed our last lesson that in Muzdalifah, from Muzdalifah when we return to Mina, we have to do four amals today. One is stoning the shaitan, the second is Qurbani, and third is shaving, and fourth is Tawaf Ziyarat. So first we have to go for Rami. Normally what happens is we arrive at our tents maybe 8 o'clock, half 8 roughly, and some people come early, some get a bit late. It would be advisable to have some rest, calm down, have a cup of tea, lie down, relax, and maybe after about 11 o'clock, half 11, leave for Rami. Sometimes we go early, sometimes we go after Zuhr, but it is better to go early, about 10, half 10, or maybe 11 o'clock, because there will be less rush at that time. You have to walk for a good, from our British khema or tent, it is a distance of about 45 minutes to an hour. So go in group, stay together, keep walking. You are still in ihram. So while you are walking, keep reciting Labbaik Allahumma Labbaik, Labbaik la sharika lak Labbaik, Innal hamda wal ni'mata lak wal mulka la sharika lak. Also tasbih, Subhanallah, walhamdulillah, wa la ilaha illallah, wallahu akbar. Also fourth kalima, La ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lahu, lahul mulku wa lahul hamdu, yuhyi wa yumitu biyadihi al-khayr, wa huwa ala kulli shay'in qadir. Also takbir tashriq, Allahu akbar, Allahu akbar. La ilaha illallah wallahu akbar, Allahu akbar walillahi alhamd. Also astaghfar, astaghfirullah al-azim alladhi la ilaha illa huwa al-hayyul qayyum wa atubu ilayh. Also durud sharif, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad ila akhirih. So these are the azkar. While you are going, keep looking down quietly, peacefully. Don't engage in shoving and pushing. In a peaceful, quiet manner, get to Jamrat. Today you will, because we are coming from this side, we will come, there is the small shaitan over here, medium shaitan here, and big shaitan here. It's written like that. It's not small, big, or it's just for easiness, for remembrance. So we come from this side, from Mina. We don't have to pelt the first one, nor the second one. We only have to pelt the last one. So today on Yawmun Nahar, which is the Eid day, which is the 10th of Dhul Hijjah, we only have to stone one shaitan and 7 pebbles. Take your pebbles with you when you leave from your tents. Make sure you have them, and in your pocket or in your hands or in your pouch or whatever you are wearing, or in your hands, and go quietly. On your way, you might feel hungry or thirsty. If someone is diabetic, he keeps a banana or fruit, something, or khajur is good for him, dates, maybe water, because it's hot time, you will feel thirsty. And there might be lots of dust as well. So if you are asthmatic, keep your pump with you, you might need your inhaler. So, medication, keep it with you and proceed. Don't take any excessive luggage with you, like rucksacks or valuables or anything. Leave everything behind and leave for Mina. When you get there, you have to do a Rami of just one shaitan. Normally what we do is, we come from this side. Now, because everybody is coming from this side, you can't come from the opposite side. There is army there. Before, people used to come from all corners, and there used to be lots of accidents and people who die as well. But now there is a whole army there, and they control everything, and the crowd is coming from one side. And normally people just come from this side and make a crowd rush over here. There's huge crowd rushing and pushing over here. What we do is, we don't go straight from this side. We keep walking from side, from behind, and come from this side. So this is the Jamrah. So rather than coming from here and pelting, we just keep walking and go round. And over here, this side is all empty. Now, before, there was only one small pillar of Jamrah. Like this, one small pillar and a small circle. And there was be a lot of rush. But now what they've done is, they've stretched the pillar like this. And they have made an X-shaped circle. So, at one time, rather than just maybe 50, 100 people pelting, maybe 1,000, 2,000 people can pelt at one time. So it's been stretched out. Maulana Bilal Sahab once said, Shaitan pehle khada tha, usko sula diya hai. First he was standing, now they put him to sleep. So he's sleeping now, lying there. So it's been stretched like an oblong shape, and you can. So we come from this side, and it's easier. Now when you pelt the Shaitan, we mentioned before that Shaitan himself is not there. Many Jahils think that Shaitan is there. We were once going and in the bus, and the driver got lost. and he was wandering around, and Allah knows where he took us to Mina and Arafat and Muzdalifah, because he tried to take another route, and rather than going on Mina, he went somewhere else. So we were wandering around for an hour or two. So one Haji Sahib remarks in the bus, giving a big swear at Shaitan, that when we are at home, he runs after us, and over here we are going after him, he's run away. So he thinks that the Shaitan himself is there, so he's run off. So that's not the case. And before, some people, they used to get onto the Shaitan with their umbrellas and their shoes and slippers and beat him up. So Shaitan himself is not there. This is just a copy of the action of Sulaiman, of Ibrahim alayhi salam. When he was going with Ismail, and Shaitan came and said, don't slaughter him, sacrifice him. Allah, and Ibrahim pelted him, he went away. So this is just an emulating and copying of this action of Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam. And the lesson behind that is, we develop this habit and remember that we have to pelt him throughout our life. Whenever he approaches, Rasulullah SAW said in one hadith, that when a person is non-Muslim and he wants to embrace Islam, he studied Islam, now he's on the verge of embracing Islam, Shaitan comes to him and he says, oh, you're going to become Muslim, what's going to happen to you? Your family will desert you, your friends, everything, you will lose everything, don't become Muslim. So he has to fight Shaitan, and he beats him there, and he said, no, I have made my decision, I'm going to embrace Islam. He becomes a Muslim. Shaitan is defeated. Thereafter, the second matter is, he has to migrate from that place where he has embraced Islam to Darul Islam. Okay. When he does this, and he migrates, he wants to migrate, Shaitan comes, he says, don't migrate, you will lose your everything. But if he defeats, Shaitan comes, he's defeated him again. And thirdly, when he wants to go in the path of Allah, Shaitan comes again. And he said, don't go in the path of Allah, you will die, your family, you've got small children, what's going to happen to them? He said, no, I'm going. And he's defeated him here. When he does these three things, Allah will have mercy on that person, show him special forgiveness, forgive him, and elevate his rank. So these are instances when you have to fight Shaitan. This is the lesson taught for you. कहाँ तक पहुँचे थे हम? हरी?
बड़े शैतान.
हाँ. Shaitan ko patthar marna hai. So on the first day you have to go and pass Jamratul Aqaba, the first Shaitan. After you finish your Rami, you have to do Qurbani. Now Rasul Pak sallallahu alaihi wasallam did Qurbani right near the Jamra. He did his pelting, then he came back to where the first Jamra is, near Masjidul Khaif. That is the place where Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam did his Qurbani. So, but these days you can't do your Qurbani there. They have special places, and they have moved those places to the right, to the end of the Mina, near the mountains. In fact, some are on the other side of the mountains. So we have to go and do Qurbani over there. Normally we can't do Qurbani, so what we do is, some of our group leaders, they undertake the responsibility to go and do for the whole group. So when we go, before we go for our Rami, they go and they do their Rami. They come at 8, half 8, have a little bit of rest, 9, half 9 they go. They have a group of about 10, 15 youngsters who are volunteers. They go, they do their Rami, come back. And when we go, they have already come back and they are going for the slaughterhouse. Because slaughterhouse is near our khema, very close. You just have to go on the tunnel, there is a slaughterhouse. So they go for Qurbani. Over here, we reach there, we do our Rami, and we tell them on the mobile, our Rami is done. And they start the Qurbani over there. And by the time we get from Mina to Makkah Mukarramah, our Qurbani is done. Because from here we have to go to Makkah Mukarramah. So we get back to our hotels, and normally our Qurbani is done by, say, let's say Asr, or maybe late after Asr. So as soon as the news arrives that the Qurbani is done, we shave our heads, wear our clothes, and then go to Masjid Haram. No. Qurbani's meat is distributed, not millions, but it's distributed. And nowadays the Saudi government have made a fantastic nizam, routine for distribution. They pack it into tins and they send it to poor countries like Sudan, Philippines, Bangladesh, or wherever it's needed. हाँ, बहुत अच्छा वो पैकिंग सिस्टम, फ्रीजर सिस्टम है पूरा, और बड़े बड़े ट्रक हैं फ्रीजर वाले, और वो पूरे के पूरे ट्रक जो हैं, they send it to poor countries. So alhamdulillah, no meat goes to waste. I'm coming to that. You have done your Rami now. Now you have to do Qurbani. Rasul Pak sallallahu alayhi wasallam, how many Qurbanis did he do? Not one goat, two goat, not one camel, two camels. He sacrificed 100 camels. 100 ऊंट की कुर्बानी की at one time during Hajjatul Wada. And from those 100 camels, 63 camels were slaughtered by his own blessed hand, and the 37 rest were slaughtered by Ali radiallahu anhu. Now just imagine, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam himself is 63-year-old, and he's doing all these mujahadat riyadh. How energetic and strong he must have been. And to do nahr of one, we can't even slaughter one chicken, and maybe one goat. Over here, Rasulullah is slaughtering 63 camels. And how do you slaughter camels?
Sideways.
You can't put the camel down to do ziba. So the nahr of the camel is done. And we have seen this with our own eyes. We once, maybe 10-15 years ago, we bought some camels in Nakhas, Kakiya. 5 camels for our group, ourselves. And a group was when we bought the camels. You have to buy camel from one market, and then you have to talk to some slaughterers, and the price is fixed. I think at that time we paid about 3,000 for one camel and 200 for slaughtering. So 3,200 per camel. We bought the camels and we took them out of the area compound right near the mountains where they slaughtered. At that time they used to allow. We took them all over there. Now what they do is, the coat hangers which we have, we've made from wire, not the plastic one, wire ones. There's plenty of lying around. So they pick a few coat hangers and they take it. Now when they go around where they want to slaughter, they go to one camel, and the camel is loose, no rope or anything, and they rub on the left knee, and the camel lifts the knee. As soon as he lifts the knee, they bend it over, and over here around the kneecap they tie that coat hanger wire, and when it's tied, and they twist it like this, so now the camel can't open its leg because it's tied, and it can't slip over as well because of the kneecap. So the camel is now standing on 3 legs. So on this side where the leg has been twisted, the chest is open. So the nahr, he was a young lad, 17, 18-year-old boy, and he was doing that. So he just takes the knife, or pokes it and pulls it, and so the blood starts coming out. And the camel tries to attack him, and he ducks. He just moves to one side, and the camel is, and suddenly after the blood is gone, camel falls on the side. So we did 1, 2, 3, and there are plenty of people who are ready to take the meat. As soon as the camel dies, they start taking the skin off and taking the meat and filling the bags and taking home. Plenty of poor people around there who are living in that area. 1, 2, 3, 4. They had done 4 camels, and the 5th one was just about to be done, and he had just was going to slaughter it, and the police car came. And everybody who was there, they start rushing around up onto the mountains, because it's illegal to do that slaughter in that way. They wouldn't allow it in the mountains. They have to go to a special place. So everybody ran off, and even that person who was doing this nahr, the police caught that young lad, and they took him away. And we were there, we were hajis, they didn't do anything to us. But we were there, we were scared about our camel, because he had just about touched it, and camel would die if the blood didn't come out properly. So we were worried about that. And one of the camels, ran after one of our friends as well, Ilyas Limbara, and he was injured in his foot as well. Anyhow, the police took him. We were scared now. These were some Bengali kids, Bangladeshi, and there was an old Baba Bangladeshi as well. He also came down, and he said, don't worry, I'll do your Qurbani of your own. And he tied his lungi around and rolled his sleeves up. As soon as he was asked to do it, the police came again, so he ran away again. And now this time the police came, and they let that young lad down. He was also from this area. So they dropped him, and the police went away. And he said, when the police went away, he kept looking. And the police went away, as he rolled his sleeves, and he did the nahr of the 5th camel. I said, what happened? What did you do? He said, well, she took us, and if they found out that I was doing the slaughtering, then he would have put me in jail and fined me so many 5,000 riyals or something. So I said, how did you get away? I said, well, I just told him, Ma nazbah ana majidul lahm. I'm not doing the zabah, I only came to get some meat. So the police, he tricked the police, and they came back to even drop him off back over here as well. So he completed the 5th nahr, and then alhamdulillah, all 5 were done and we went. So this is the manner of doing nahr of the camel. Rasulullah SAW himself did the nahr of 100 camels. Sorry, 63 and 37 were done by Hazrat Ali. In some narrations it's mentioned that Rasulullah first did 33, and then Hazrat Ali karramallahu wajhahu did some, and then Rasulullah did another 30, and then Hazrat Ali did the remaining. And then Rasulullah said, gather one boti, one meat from every camel, put them in one dig, a pot, and cook it. And then when it was cooked, Rasulullah drank the soup. So all the camels get the barakat blessing of their meat going into the stomach of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And in some riwayat it is narrated that when Rasulullah was doing nahr, nearly 6 to 7 camels, they themselves proceeded forward to Rasulullah so he can slaughter them first. Even they had that feeling that we are being slaughtered by the blessed hand of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So this was the manner of Qurbani of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And we should also do as many sacrifices as we can. If we can do one for ourselves, and another one for our maybe parents, families, another one for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, another one for our asatiza, mashayikh, whoever we want to. It's desirable to do Qurbani on their behalf. We have to remember over here that Qurbani which we do over these of 2 types. One is Dame Shukr. Dame Shukr means if you are mutamatti' or qari, if you did Umrah and Hajj both, then one dam is wajib upon you, which is called Dame Shukr, the blood of thanksgiving. You are thanking Allah for giving you the opportunity to do Umrah and Hajj both in one journey. Otherwise you should have come for Umrah alone in Rajab, Shaban, and for Hajj alone in Zulhijjah. But Allah gave you the permission to do them both and combine them. For that shukrana and for being grateful, showing your gratitude, you do this dam. Another one is called Udhiyah. The Udhiyah is Qurbani, which we do at our home, which is compulsory upon every male, every mature person, male or female, who is rich, who is Sahibe Nisab, who has the ability to do that Udhiyah and Qurbani everywhere, wherever we are. This is wajib. Now remember, this Qurbani was wajib on every Muslim who is muqim. But if one is musafir, then this Qurbani is not wajib upon him. So you have to think for yourself, if you've been in Makkah Mukarramah for 15 days and you are muqim, then this Qurbani will be wajib for you. But if you are not muqim, you are musafir, you've only been there for 5-6 days and you went to Mina Arafat, then this Qurbani will not be wajib for you. It will only be sunnah. If you do it, okay. If you don't do it, no obligation. So if you are muqim, then you have to do 2 Qurbanis. One is the Dame Shukr and one is this Udhiyah and Qurbani. And Haji? Udhiyah. Qurbani का अरबी लफ्ज़ है उद्हिया, अदाही से उद्हिया. तो ये कुर्बानी करनी है. And number 3, if you made any mistakes during Hajj, meaning left any wajib out. For example, Wuquf Muzdalifah is wajib and you left it out. Rami is wajib, you didn't do Rami. Or any other wajib act you missed out, then you have to give one dam, which is called Dame Jabr, Dame Jinayat, dam of making any mistake. So if you made any mistake, then you have to give dam for that reason, make money for that. Normally we don't make mistakes. Alhamdulillah, we go according to the routine and procedure, so we don't need to give any dam. Some people say, Maulana Sahab, can we give one dam ihtiyati dam, as precaution? So I said, no, you can't give ihtiyati dam. Dam is like, Dame Jabr, Dame Jinayat is like Siddhe Sahur. You can't do Siddhe Sahur ihtiyatan in your namaz. I might have made some mistake, let me do Siddhe Sahur. No, if you haven't made any mistake, don't give Dame Jinayat.
अच्छा कोई मिस्टेक कर दिया आज के ज़माने में, वापस आने पर याद आके I did this one.
So you can send your dam with someone who is going for Hajj, and then they can give that dam for you. You can give it during your lifetime.
घर में नहीं कर सकते.
No, घर में नहीं, because dam has to be a sacrifice within hudud haram, the limits of haram.
Even 6 महीने के बाद याद आया उसको.
हाँ, तो sir, you have to send some money, someone over there. phone someone over there and they can do it for you. But dam should be done in the hudud of haram, surroundings of haram, in Makkah or in Mina, because Mina is also in haram. So Mina and Makkah, you can do it anywhere in Mina or in Makkah Mukarramah. So this is the Qurbani. And after that, you have to shave your head after the Qurbani is done. Now shaving the head, it is better to shave the whole head. More virtuous. Alhamdulillah, we have spent thousands of pounds getting there. We have done so much sacrifice. So why just, stay behind a little bit, take that extra step as well and shave your head completely, and your Hajj will be complete, Insha'Allah. So shaving the head is more virtuous. Rasulullah SAW himself shaved his head. And then he made dua, Allahumma arhamil muhalliqeen. And people said, walil muqassirin ya Rasulullah. And he said, Allahumma arhamil muhalliqeen. O Allah, have mercy upon those who have shaved their heads. Sahaba said, Oh Rasulullah, please say walil muqassirin as well, those who trimmed their hair as well. He said, Allahumma arhamil muhalliqeen. And they said again, walil muqassirin ya Rasulullah. They knew he will say. So at the fourth time, he said, walil muqassirin. Someone asked him after that, Ya Rasulullah, why did you make 3 du'as for those who shaved and only once for those who trimmed? And he replied, Ama innahum lam yashukku. The thing is that those who shaved, they had no doubt in fulfilling the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They submitted themselves wholly to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There is dua. When you shave your head, there is virtue for every hair that comes off your head. One hasana, one thawab is recorded for every hair that is shaved off your head. And the ulama have mentioned dua, that a person should make this humbleness, feel this remorse in his heart, that, oh Allah, I am shaving my hair for you. This is only a small thing. How nice could be if I could sacrifice my life for you, sir. Like Ibrahim alayhi salam was willing to sacrifice his son for your sake. So if it was this, when we should do this as well, we humble ourselves before you. This is the significance of shaving the head. So you shave your head, all of it. If you can't shave your head, then you have to trim the hair. But you have, some people are there who just take a little bit of hair and trim it over here. That's not allowed. According to Imam Shafi'i mazhab, it's allowed. But according to Imam Abu Hanifa rahmatullahi alayhi, you have to shave or trim at least 1/4 of the head. And number 3, according to Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal rahmatullahi, you have to shave the whole head or trim the whole head. Even trimming is not allowed for a little bit as well. Imam Ahmad says you have to trim the whole head. And Imam Ahmad says most of the head. And Imam Malik said all of it. So there are 4 opinions. Only Imam Shafi'i says a few hair will suffice. But Imam Abu Hanifa says 1/4. Imam Ahmad says most of the head. And Imam Malik says all of the head. So you have to shave or trim all of the head. Then you will be halal. Otherwise you will not be classed as halal according to these mazahib. So shave your head or trim your hair. And now after you have shaved and trimmed your hair, you are halal. You are halal, only clothes are allowed for you, and perfume, soap, shampoo is allowed for you. One thing is not allowed, which is sexual intercourse. It will only be allowed after you've performed tawaf-e-ziyarat. Before tawaf-e-ziyarat, it's not allowed. So now you are halal, you have been to the barber, and you make your ghusl, put your clothes on, and then you proceed for tawaf-e-ziyarat to Haram Sharif. Remember this. Some people make mistakes over here. Many, in the last 2-3 years, I noticed in the group from Canada, one went to the barber, and there was a huge long queue outside the barber shop. So he said, "Oh, I'll go later on." He came inside the hotel, and before shaving his head, he shaved his beard. And then he comes to ask the Muslim, "You have to give a dam, because if you shave part of your face or one whole part, then you have to give dam. Before shaving your head, you can't shave your beard." So people make this mistake. Don't make this mistake. You have to shave your head first. That's why normally what we do is we have small hair. We have razors at home. If there is a long queue at the barbers, just people do with one another. That razor, you do mine, I do yours. It's simple, and you are halal. You don't need to wait for the barber. And after this halaq or qasr, we go for tawaf ziyarat. Tawaf ziyarat is the rukn of Hajj. There are 2 rukn and 2 farz of Hajj, which we mentioned in the beginning. One is wuquf Arafah, and the other is tawaf ziyarat, which is called tawaf ifada, and which is farz and rukn of Hajj. So you have to go to perform tawaf ziyarat. If your Qurbani was not done, and you are in ihram, and you are doing tawaf, then still you have to do tawaf normally. However, if you still have to do sa'i after tawaf ziyarat, sa'i is wajib, then in this tawaf ziyarat you have to do istibah and ramal as well. But if you don't have to do sa'i because you did it before you went to Mina Arafat, then because there is no sa'i after this, then you don't have to do istibah and you don't have to do ramal. Also, if your Qurbani was done over there and you became halal, you washed yourself, you put your clothes on, and then you came for tawaf ziyarat, then you don't have to do ramal, you don't have to do istibah. All you are in your clothes, you are in your jubba, you just go walk around the Kaaba normally, and then you go and do your sa'i. So tawaf ziyarat, you have to do it. It is more virtuous, desirable, masnoon to do it on Yawmul Nahr, on the 10th of Dhul Hijjah, before Salatul Maghrib. Rasulullah performed it before Salatul Maghrib, and he returned to Mina and he spent the night in Mina. So do your tawaf ziyarat before Maghrib if you can. Sheikh Yunus Sahib Damat Barakatuhum normally does it before Maghrib. Once during Hajj, we were pushing his wheelchair and we had been rushing throughout the day, and I was really, really tired and I was just exhausted, completely drained out. And Sheikh said that, चलो भाई तवाफ करने जाना है. कहा हज़रत थोड़ी देर बात कर लेंगे, शाम को कर लेंगे, मगरिब बात कर लेंगे, ईशा बात नहीं, अभी करना है. मैंने अपनी जिंदगी में कभी मगरिब के बाद तवाफ ज़ियारत नहीं किया है. हमेशा मगरिब से पहले सुन्नत के मुताबिक हुआ है तवाफ. Throughout my life, every year I've only done tawaf ziyarat before Maghrib, never done it afterwards. It's sunnat, so we have to do it now. So we have to take him. And we were just drained out because pushing the wheelchair is long round as well, up on the roof. But alhamdulillah, we performed it somehow.
तवाफ ज़ियारत तवाफ क़ुदूम और
नहीं तवाफ क़ुदूम तो जब शुरू में करते हैं वो जब मक्का पहुंच के करते हैं.
But if somebody had done a field tawaf and he didn't get a chance to say the wida,
विदा तो डिफरेंट है, वो भी आ रहे हैं. अभी तो तवाफ ज़ियारत पे हम चल रहे हैं. वो तवाफ विदा जो है उसका मैं भी बताता हूँ इसके बाद. जी, so we were doing tawaf ziyarat. So you have done your tawaf ziyarat, you can do it. It is better to do it before Maghrib. And after Maghrib, throughout the night, or next day, or the next day, you have to do it before the 12th, the Maghrib of the 12th. And if you delay it after that, then dam will become wajib for delaying. So this is the ruling of tawaf ziyarat. If a lady is at risk of her menstruation starting, then the fuqaha say that on the Eid day, she should come straight from Muzdalifah to Makkah, rather than going from Muzdalifah to Mina and then Jamarat and then Makkah. So she should come straight from Muzdalifah, find some transport or something, to straight to Makkah, and do her tawaf ziyarat quickly before her menstruation starts. And then she will be okay. But if she doesn't do that, and she goes to Mina, Muzdalifah, from Mina and then Jamarat and then Makkah, and by that time her hair starts, then she will have to delay her tawaf ziyarat. And there will be no dam or anything upon her, because this is an excuse, it's from Allah Pak, there is no intention in there. So when she gets Pak, then she will have to do her ghusl and then tawaf ziyarat. So this is the ruling of tawaf ziyarat. For men, they have to do it before the Maghrib of the 12th of Dhul Hijjah, which is the 3rd day after Hajj.
menstruation long हो गया,
She'll have to wait 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 दिन.
तो जरूरत की बात तो खत्म हो गई ना बाद में.
कोई हर्ज नहीं, उसको उसका दम नहीं. She doesn't have to give dam because she is excused by Allah. When she finishes after 5, 6 days, no problem. As soon as she finishes, she has to do ghusl and come and do her tawaf ziyarat. And some ladies take pills to stop their menstruation. Now medically, this is harmful for them because the cycle gets disturbed. Doctor ये कहते हैं, ऐसे वो disturb हो जाता है और फिर problem होता है. It's better not to take. Shariat is flexible, Shariat is easy, and you can delay it. Just you have to remember one thing. that make sure you go in a group in which the flight is not straight after Hajj. Some group, they have their flight on the 13th or 14th of Zulhijjah. Now if a lady is on her Hajj and her flight is booked, then, she has a problem. Because she has to wait until she gets parked and then she does Tawaf Ziyarat, then she will be allowed to return. So go in a group which don't come back immediately after, but they stay for there some days. Even if the group goes to Medina Munawwara after Hajj, then there is no harm in there. If they go to Medina Munawwara, then she can travel to Medina Munawwara, and after 3-4 days staying in Medina Munawwara, she gets parked, she can go to Wazaratul Hajj, and they will give you a paper, green paper, warakha. You have to take a photo, and the photo will be stuck over here, and they will give you permission to travel to Makkah Mukarramah for 24 hours, or 1 day, 2 days, however you ask for. And you can come in a taxi with that document, Makkah Mukarramah, you do your Tawaf Ziyarat, Tawaf Bida, and then you go back. And however, you have to do one Umrah as well, because you've gone out and you're coming back. So you have to do one Umrah as well, because you've gone out of Miqat from Dhul Hulayfa. Your husband is with you, he also has to put Ihram on, do one Umrah, and then you come here, do one Umrah, Tawaf Sa'i, and then she has to do one Tawaf for Umrah, Sa'i for Umrah, and one Tawaf of Tawaf Ziyarat, and one Tawaf of Tawaf Bida. And then she will go back to Medina Munawwara and join the group, and then going back to Jeddah for the flight. So this will be the routine for Tawaf Ziyarat. Tawaf Ziyarat is done. After Tawaf Ziyarat, if you have to do Sa'i, do your Sa'i as well. Normally, many people, they do their Sa'i before going for Hajj. The procedure for this is, if you want to do Sa'i before going to Mina Arafat, then you have to remember, you have to put your Ihram on. Start your Hajj first. Make Niyyat. Say your Labbaik. You have done that, you have made your Niyyat Labbaik, you have put the Ihram on. Now, you go to Haram Sharif, and then you make one Nafli Tawaf. 7 rounds. Because Sa'i cannot be done without Tawaf. So you make one Nafli Tawaf, and after that Nafl Tawaf, you go to Sa'i, and you perform the 7 rounds of Sa'i, and you make an intention that this is the Sa'i for Hajj. Normally I should do after Tawaf Ziyarat, 5 days after, but now I'm doing it so it can be easy when I come back from Mina Arafat and Muzdalifah. So this is the procedure of doing Sa'i in Ihram after Tawaf and with the intention of Sa'i of Hajj. If you have done your Sa'i before, you don't have to do it. If you haven't, then after Tawaf Ziyarat, you do Sa'i. You can delay your Sa'i later on as well. If you are too tired, you can't do your Sa'i now, you do it later on. There is no harm. Even if you do it after 12 Zilhijjah, 13 Zilhijjah, you can do it then as well. The people of Makkah, they delay their Sa'i until the end of Zilhijjah. When all the Hajis are gone and the Haram is empty, then they go and they do their Sa'i of Hajj. So the Sa'i does not have any particular time, only Tawaf Ziyarat has time. So you've done your Sa'i, now after Sa'i, it is masnoon to go back to Mina. And when you get back to it is masnoon to go there. According to Imam Shafi, Imam Ahmad, Imam Malik, it's wajib to spend the night, most of the night in Mina. Some of the night you are away, no problem, but most of the night should be spent in Mina. But according to Imam Abu Hanifa, rahmatullahi alayhi, it's not wajib, it's sunnah, masnoon. So according to Imam Abu Hanifa, you don't have to give them if you miss out. But according to Imam Shafi and the others, if you don't stay in Mina, you have to give them. So over here, many people become Hanafi to avoid them. And during this night, you will see that most of the people in Haram are Hanafis. They are either from the Asian background or Turkeys, so or Iranians, most of them. Otherwise, Haram will be empty. Everybody will be in Mina. In Fajr Namaz, if you go Fajr Namaz, Haram will be empty. You can go right into near Kaaba Sharif. Very less people. Anyhow, you spend the night in Mina if you can. But if you have some disabled, sick people with you, and because of them you have to stay in Makkah Mukarramah, you are allowed to do so. And if they can't go for Rami on the next day, someone is so ill, then you can be their representative and do it on their behalf. But the condition for that is, they must be so severely ill that they are unable to fulfill their needs properly. They can't pray Salat standing up, they have to sit down. They struggle to get to the toilets, and they find hard to do their daily stuff. Then okay, you can do their niyabat, But if that is not the case, then they will not be classed as maris. They will be fit to go and do Rami. So the excuse of too much crowd and rush and is not an excuse for sending someone else on your behalf. No, you have to go. There are times when there is no rush, you can do it then. Because Rami's time is throughout the whole night. So you can do the Rami at night when the whole Jamarat is empty. You can do it before Fajr. If you go at night, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, there will be nobody there. You can do your Rami then. So Shariat is very flexible. Don't try and send anyone on your behalf without any reason. Go by yourself if you can. So you have spent done your tawaf and sa'i, you come back to Mina, you are staying over here, relax. On the next day, which is the 11th of Zulhijjah, Rasulullah Pak sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Ayyamu Mina, ayyamu aklin wa shurbin wa bi'alin wa dhikrin lillahi azza wa jal." The days of Mina are for eating, drinking, and fulfilling your desire, and zikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So there is nothing much to do. The only ritual you have to do today is pelting shaitan. So get up at maybe 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, or after Zohar, have some food and go to Jamarat for Rami. You go to Jamarat, maybe you get there for Asr time, after an hour or so. It takes maybe 45 minutes to an hour to do Rami and an hour to come back. So before Maghrib you should be back in your tents and no harm, and spend the night there, relax. Next day, on the third day you have to do Rami, and then you have to go back to Makkah Mukarramah. Now on the next day when you are coming for Rami, normally people go in a group, and today you have to stone 3 shaitans. The first one, the second one, and the third one. This is the route you are coming from Mina. You approach the first one, and like I said before, don't pelt from this direction from which everybody is coming. Just walk a little bit more and go around the circle. Come from the other side and easily, very near the circle. We have to remember that some people throw from a very long distance, and their stone does not fall inside. It is a requirement that the pebble falls inside that circle. If it falls outside, then the Rami is not counted. Or if it hits the pillar so hard that it bounces back outside, then the Rami is not counted as well. So normally it would be advisable to go near and do your stoning. It's very simple. The Sunnah tariqah is, you take that small pebble in between your thumb and the index finger, hold it like this, and you throw it. Bismillahi Allahu Akbar, Raghman lish-shaytan, wa ridan lir-Rahman. Bismillahi Allahu Akbar, 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 Bismillahi Allahu Akbar. In the name of Allah, Allah is the greatest. I am pelting Raghman lish-shaytan, wa ridan lir-Rahman. Shaitan ko zaleel karne ke liye, Rahman ko khush karne ke liye. In order to debase and humiliate, disgrace Shaitan, and to please and make Rahman happy with me, I am doing this deed. So this is also to seek pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So you pelt 7 times. As I mentioned, you have to pelt 7 stones. If you do less, your Rami will be naqis. And it is makruh to throw more than 7, 8, 10, 15, no. And if you throw all 7 at once, it will be counted as 1 stone, not as 7 stones. So you have to throw 7 individually. Some people are scared of going for Rami and they don't go. I know we had someone who was in the hotel, and he was not very old, he was a bit aged, but he was healthy. So we said, we have to go for Rami. And he said, I'm not coming for Rami. I said, why? Some people get killed over there. I don't want to get killed. I said, no, but you have to go, it's wajib. Someone else can do it for me. And we tried to explain to him, and he said, okay. And somehow, he dragged himself along with us. He came on the bus, and we arrived at Mina. As soon as we got off the bus, and the group was moving forward, suddenly he disappeared. So everybody was looking around for him. Where is he gone? Where is he gone? Where is he? Kya hua, bhai, kya hua? Dhundo. Everybody was stopped. Maulana Bilal Sahab said, bhai, kitni der dhundenge? How long are we going to look for him? Let's go. He will come. We can't wait for individuals. So we moved forward. Somehow we went. We did Rami. After finishing Rami, when we came back to the hotel, what do we see? He's sitting inside the room smoking a cigarette. His feet stretched out. He said, "Bhai, what happened?" I said, "Well, I was too scared to go there. I found another bus back home and I came back to the hotel." So you get these type of people as well who don't want to do Rami. They are just terrified, scared. There is nothing to be scared of. It's so easy and simple. Just you have to go at the right time and do it at the right manner, in the right manner, and there is nothing to be scared of. You come from this side and you do your Rami. After you finishing your Rami, you stand on one side and make dua. Because at this first Jamrah and the second Jamrah, Rasulullah SAW made dua. And du'as are accepted over here as well. So you go on one side to make du'as. Whatever du'as you remember, Allah will put in your heart. Whatever you remember, make dua, cry. Try to cry in front of Allah SWT. Make sure you ask Allah that, oh Allah, please bring me here again and again. And accept my hajj. Accept all my du'as which I made. Forgive me, my family, everybody who's connected with me. Make dua for the whole ummah. And from this first Jamrah, you go to the second Jamrah. You get many Ahlullahs making dua. On one of our journeys, we saw Hafiz Patel Sahib making dua. So we joined in his dua. In one journey, we saw Pir Zulfiqar Sahib Naqshbandi Damat Barakatuh. He was making dua. And Pir Sahib makes very nice duas. And he's very humble and very sweet manner he makes his dua. So we stood by his side, and rather than making our own duas, we were saying Ameen, Ameen, Ameen in his duas. So you make some nice duas. Police normally let you stand there for a while, but provided you stand at a distance, not where the crowd and rush is. Otherwise they'll move you away from there. So you stand on one side, near one pillar, in a private place, you make your duas, and then you proceed for the second Jamrah. Normally what we do is when the group gets there, we tell everybody to hold on to their ladies and go with them. Husband and wife go together, and the families go together, and the men protect their ladies. And we go together so the ladies don't get crushed or anything. And then we go closer, and the ladies do their Rami, the men gents do their Rami, and they hold them back and bring them back to the place. We say that this is the sign, see this camera, this number 59, we have to come under this pillar of 59. So everybody comes near the pillar 59, and we wait for them, get together again, and move forward. If there are too many slippers and everything falling around there, if your slippers get out of your feet, don't bow down to look for it. Otherwise, you'll be foolish to do that, you could get crushed. So leave your slipper over there, you can buy some others afterwards, but just do your Rami and come back straight out, and then move to the second Jamrah. Second Jamrah as well, 7 stones, and then make dua, and then we'll move forward to the third Jamrah. And after the third Jamrah, there is no dua. You have to move forward. If you are coming back to Mina, then just turn around and come back to Mina. And if it's on the last day and you are going to Makkah Mukarramah, then you have to just keep going to Makkah Mukarramah. On the first day, you have to walk back to Mina. It's better, you won't get any buses or taxis or anything. There's too much crowd over there, they don't allow buses and cars near Jamarat. On the last day, there is too much rush on the buses. And it's our experience that people who go by bus, they take longer time than those who walk in. So if you walk in, you can get to Makkah Mukarramah hotel within an hour. And if you go by bus, you will be sitting in the bus and you will arrive at 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at midnight. So what we do is, slowly we keep walking. You get fruit, bananas, oranges, apples, water, juice, everything on the way. So on your way, you will get all these things. You can eat, drink, sit down, relax, walk again. And you just have to keep walking straight. There are millions of people walking through them tunnels, and you get straight to Haram Sharif. When you get to Haram Sharif, you will know where you are. You are on the Marwa side, and your hotel is on the Babul Umrah side, Babul Fahad side. So you have to go around and go to your hotel, go in your hotel, relax, and alhamdulillah, your Hajj is complete. Now you have arrived at your hotel, your rituals of 5 days are done. Normally, our luggage over there, what we do is, the group leader, they hire a bus or something, and or tempo or anything, and they put all the luggage in there, and the luggage is brought to hotel. That's what our group normally does. Others might have others, but you can't carry your luggage to Jamarat. It's dangerous, they won't allow you. After your Hajj is finished, you are back at your hotel, there will be so much rush over here. Now, you might be here for a day or 2 or 3 days, however many days you are here. Make sure you pray your namaz in Haram Sharif, 100,000 sawab you get for that. And make sure you do lots of tawafs over here. And now, all you have to do is one thing, which is tawaf is wida. Tawaf is wida, farewell tawaf. It is mustahab and desirable to make your tawaf wida the last amal before you leave from Makkah Mukarramah. Because it's farewell, rukhsati. So you are doing rukhsati of Baytullah now. So you have to do it. It is mustahab to do it then. According to some ulama, it is wajib to do it then. But according to Hanafi mazhab, mustahab, afzal, more virtuous. once Sheikh Yunus Sahib Damat Barakatuh was going to travel to Medina Munawwara, and he performed his tawaf-e-wida, and the car did not arrive, and they kept on waiting, and the whole night passed, and in the morning, and the next day, it was scheduled for next day after Asr. So Sheikh Yunus Sahib said, "Bhai tawaf-e-wida fir karao." So he went for tawaf-e-wida again before Asr, even though he had done it on the previous day after Asr. But again he said, because the journey was delayed, I've been to Haram for more namazes, and let me do my tawaf-e-wida again. So it's more virtuous and sawab to make sure your tawaf is the last tawaf before you leave. However, if you are at risk of falling sick or ill, you feel that you're going to get flu, or you're going to get tired and exhausted, and you do your tawaf early, then it will suffice, according to the Hanafi mazhab. Let's say, for example, you came back from Mina Arafat, and you did your tawaf-e-wida on the same day, and then you stayed for 2-3 days, no problem, your tawaf-e-wida will be counted. Or, if you were unable to do your tawaf-e-wida, you had the intention of doing it before you leave. However, you couldn't do it tawaf, you fell ill. But you did do any nafil tawaf after you returned from Mina Arafat, Muzdalifah. When you came back after Jamrat on the 13th of Dhul Hijjah, then you did any nafli tawaf, 2, 3, 4, 5 tawafs, then your last tawaf which you did will be counted as your tawaf-e-wida. You won't have to repeat your tawaf. If you do it, it's better, but if you don't, then your last tawaf will be counted as tawaf-e-wida, it will suffice. Tawaf-e-wida is wajib. Ladies who are on menstruation are excused from tawaf-e-wida. From tawaf-e-ziyarat, they will not be excused, because that is first. Tawaf-e-wida is wajib, so they will be excused, they will be able to travel. Hazrat Safiya radiallahu anha, when Rasulullah came back and he said that now we have to travel, Safiya said, Ya Rasulullah, I think I'm going to hold you back. Rasulullah said, oh no. Has her haid started? And she said, yes. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, did you do your tawaf-e-ziyarat, the first tawaf-e-ifad? She said, yes. She said, I did that. I only have to do this tawaf-e-wida. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, no problem. Tawaf-e-wida is maaf upon you. You are excused and you can travel with us. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam traveled, and she also traveled. So a woman who is on menstruation will be excused from tawaf-e-wida. So these are some of the masail while you are in Makkah Mukarramah and when you are leaving. When you are leaving Makkah Mukarramah, you should have tears in your eyes and should be remorseful that we don't know, we might have done any bad, be disrespect of Haram, disrespect of Masjid Haram, of Kaaba Sharif. May I please Allah forgive me, forgive my mistake, forgive my sins, accept my Hajj. Make dua before leaving, go to Haram Sharif, make du'as, pray as many du'as as you can, last tawaf you are doing, and then return. Some ulama have mentioned their own observation, that if someone writes this ayat with his own fingers, like scribbles it on Kaabatullah Sharif, Allah Pak will call him again. Inna alladhi farada alayka al-Qur'an la radduka ila ma'ad. This is not Quran or Hadith or anything, just an experience. Like we say paracetamol, instead of headache, an experience. So similarly, someone might have just written with his own hands in Kaaba Sharif or in one of the pillars or somewhere, Inna alladhi farada alayka al-Qur'an la radduka ila ma'ad. It's in the 20th Sipara on the last page of Surah Al-Qasas. That surely that Allah who sent this Quran down upon you, He will return you to your place of return. He will bring you back over here. Rasulullah, this ayat was revealed when Rasulullah was driven out of Makkah Mukarramah. He was forced out of Makkah Mukarramah, and he was doing his migration hijrah, and he was looking at Makkah Mukarramah, turning around, and he was crying. And Allah revealed this ayat, don't cry, don't worry, Allah will bring you back. And he came back after 8 years in a victorious manner. Allah conquered Makkah Mukarramah for him. So this ayat was revealed then. If you read this ayat or make dua that Allah please bring me back, Insha'Allah it is hope that Allah will bring you back. Now your journey is towards Medina Sharif. I think we will go to Medina Sharif next week. I was intending to take you to Medina Sharif today, but I think the lesson has been prolonged. क्या ख्याल है डॉक्टर साहब, जाना है मदीना शरीफ?
10 मिनट है
नेक्स्ट वीक,
10 मिनट
लंबा रास्ता है ना वहाँ तक का।
अभी तो लंबा है, चलो मुख्तसर कर लेते हैं।
10 मिनट है हमारे,
10 मिनट है, चलो पर निपटा लेते हैं। क्या हाल है आसिफ भाई, ठीक है?
चलेंगे ना, मदीना चलेंगे।
अब जो है ट्रैवलिंग हो रही है मदीना शरीफ को, है जी। Normally group take to Medina after Hajj. So assuming that your group is going to Medina Munawwara after Hajj, first of all you have to get your belongings ready, pack your stuff, get Zamzam, because Zamzam you take from Makkah Mukarramah and Khajur you take from Medina Munawwara. So fill your Zamzam, keep it with you, and pack your belongings, whatever shopping you've done, and get ready. Then you travel for Medina Munawwara. First of all, you have to make intention. What intention do you make when you are departing for Medina Munawwara? Some people say you have to make intention that you are going to visit the masjid of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam. However, majority of the ulama say that your intention should be that I am visiting Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. I am visiting the tomb of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, Rawdah of Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Mullah Ali Qari rahmatullahi alayhi, the Hanafi scholar, he has narrated this, that the intention should be visiting Rawdah of Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Shami, who is a Hanafi scholar, he has mentioned this. He narrated this from Ibn Hajar as well, who is a Shafi'i scholar. Imam Nawawi rahmatullahi alayhi has written a book named Al-Manasik. And in that Manasikul Hajj, he said that when you intend to go to Medina Munawwara, make intention of visiting the tomb of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Qazi Iyaz, who is a Maliki scholar, he writes the same. Al-Mughni, Muwaffaq ibn Qudama al-Hanbali rahmatullahi alayhi, who is a Hanbali scholar, he also writes the same. That make your intention of visiting Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Due to the hadith that whosoever performs Hajj and then he comes to visit me, this is the words of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. He comes to visit me, then he is as though he has visited me during my lifetime. So if you visit Rasulullah after your Hajj in Medina Munawwara, then it will be as you visited Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam during his lifetime. And in one hadith he said that whosoever performs Hajj and does not visit me, then he has been hard upon me. He has been harsh with me. He has not fulfilled my right. So you must make this intention of visiting Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I remember once I was sitting with Sheikh Yunus Sahib in Makkah Mukarramah, in Haram Sharif. Sheikh was reciting Quran. I was by him reciting Quran. And when we finished, this person approached and he asked the Muslim. He said, Hazrat, baat puchni hai. I work in Riyadh. I came for Hajj now, and my flight is tomorrow to Islamabad, and I can't change my flight. But I am unable to go to Medina Munawwara as well. I have performed Umrahs before, and I have been to Medina Munawwara, but at this moment of time, I am not in a position to visit Medina Munawwara. Is it okay? Will my Hajj be okay? And Hazrat Shaykh Yunus Sahib replied, well, your Hajj is accepted, your Hajj will be allowed. However, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam's right is such upon you that you should not go without visiting him. You should at least go there for a few moments as well. He said, Hazrat, my flight is tomorrow, I can't travel. He said, no, you must go somehow. He said, Hazrat, I can't. So Hazrat said, okay, if that is the case, you can't go, then you have to give some kafara for not going there. And what is the kafara? Hazrat said, during your journey from here to Islamabad, pray Durood Sharif continuously. Engage yourself, busy yourself in Durood Sharif throughout your whole journey. Be remorseful and do dua, istighfar. Oh Allah, forgive me. I am been unable to visit your beloved Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but it was my majburi and I can't go. Please forgive me. So this is our mashayikh's muhabbat and love for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So you should try and visit Medina with the intention of visiting Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And on this journey, Hazrat Shaykh Rahmatullahi has mentioned some adab over here from the hadith. I will just narrate a few hadiths from here. Man zara qabri wajabat lahu shafa'ati. Whosoever visits my grave, my intercession becomes obligatory for him. This hadith is narrated by Bazzar and Daraqutni, both of them. Imam Nawawi and Ibn Hajar write in Sharh Manasik that Ibn Khuzaymah has also narrated this in his Sahih. And one Jama'at has said that this hadith is Sahih, like Taqiyuddin as-Subki and Shaykh Abdul Haq Dehlavi rahmatullahi. Mullah Ali Qari rahmatullahi says in Sharh al-Shifa that one Jama'at of ulama have mentioned that this hadith is Sahih. So you remember the words, whosoever visits my grave, then my shafa'at becomes wajib for him. Number two, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Man ja'ani za'iran la yuhimmuhu illa ziyarati, kana haqqan alayya an akuna shafi'an, an akuna lahu shafi'an." Whosoever visits me and has no other motive, has a right over me that I intercede on his behalf. This hadith is narrated by Tabarani, and Ibn Sakan has classed it as Sahih, and similarly Shaykh Abdul Haq Muhaddis Dehlavi rahmatullahi alayhi also classed it as Sahih, and Taqiyuddin as-Subki said, looking at the collection of the asanid and the chains of this hadith, it can be classed as Sahih. So this is another hadith. Number 3, Man zarani ba'da wafati faka'annama zarani fi hayati. Whosoever visits me after my death is like he who had visited me during my life. Narrated by Tabrani, Daraqutni, Bayhaqi. And it's classed as Da'if. Ithaful Sadat al-Muttaqeen has said this. In Mishkat, it's narrated from Bayhaqi and his Shu'abul Iman with another lafz, Man hajja fazara qabri ba'da mawti kana kaman zarani fi hayati. Also, another hadith narrated that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Man zarani muta'ammidan kana fi jiwari yawm al-qiyamah, wa man sakana al-madinata wa sabara ala bala'iha, kuntu lahu shahidan wa shafi'an yawm al-qiyamah, wa man mata fi ahad al-haramayn, ba'athahu Allahu min al-aminin." Whosoever undertakes a journey especially to visit my grave will be my neighbor on the day of Qiyamah, will be by my side on the day of Qiyamah. And whosoever lives in Medina Munawwara and bears with patience its hardships and trials, for him I will be a witness and an intercessor on the day of Qiyamah. And whosoever dies in either of the Haramain, Makkah or Medina, he will be raised on the day of Qiyamah with those who have been granted security and safety. He will be safe on the day of Qiyamah. This hadith is narrated by Imam Bayhaqi in Shu'ab al-Iman, and that is written in Mishkat. And in Ithaf, it is narrated through the Abu Dawud, riwayat of Abu Dawud al-Tayalisi with his sanad through Ibn Umar from Umar radiyallahu anhu. And Bayhaqi narrated this, and he said that it is mursal, and there is a Rabi in there who is not known. And Tajuddin Subki rahmatullahi alayhi, Taqiyuddin Subki rahmatullahi alayhi has exhausted himself in talking about the asanid and chains of this hadith, and said it is mursalun jayyidun. So another hadith of this which mentions that ziyarat of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Another hadith narrated from Ibn Umar, Man hajja al-bayta wa lam yazurni faqad jafani. Whosoever performs hajj and does not come to visit me has indeed acted unjustly towards me. This hadith is narrated by Ibn Adi in Al-Kamil, and Shifa'ul Asqam and Sharh al-Lubab, it's mentioned. Ibn Adi narrates it with Sanad Hasan, and Sahib Ithaf has lengthened his takhrij of this isnad, and he said that Ibn al-Jawzi said that it is in Mawdu'at, but Allama Suyuti rahmatullahi alayhi has refuted the claim of Ibn al-Jawzi and said, Lam Yusib Ibn al-Jawzi. Ibn al-Jawzi had made mistake in classing this as among the Mawdu'at. Mullah Ali Qari writes in Sharuh Shifa that Ibn Adi has narrated it with a chain with which one can use as an argument and take hujjat from it. Another hadith, Hazrat Shaykh Rahmatullah alayhi narrates in Fadail Hajj. Anas radiyallahu anhu says, لما خرج رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم من مكة أظلم منها كل شيء ولما دخل المدينة أضاء منها كل شيء فقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم المدينة بها قبري وبها بيتي وتربتي وحق على كل مسلم زيارتها. Anas reports that when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam left Makkah, he left in such a manner that everything in Makkah became enveloped in darkness, and when he entered Medina, everything became enlightened. And he said, my home shall be in Medina, and here shall be my grave. It is a duty upon every Muslim to visit Medina. This hadith is narrated by Abu Dawud, rahmatullahi alayhi. Another hadith, number 7, Rasulullah said, Man zarani fil madinati muhtasiban, kana fi jiwari, wa kuntu lahu shafi'an yawm al-qiyamah. Bayhaqi, Uqayli, Abu Awana narrated this hadith. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, whosoever visits me in Medina with the object of gaining spiritual reward shall be in my company, and for him I shall be an intercessor on the day of Qiyamah. So